Alright, so in this tutorial, basically I'm going to cover the GUI system for our thing here. So basically I'm just going to have like an overlay over each scene. Well, actually it's going to be over the camera. That's going to allow me to, so I have like stuff written here and then a next button. And that's basically what we're going to add. Okay, so to set it up, it's actually pretty simple. So all you got to do is you just go to Game Object, UI, and then the first thing we need is a canvas. Okay, so you make a canvas, and just so you can kind of see what this looks like, let me go into 3D view, then you can see it. It's basically, it looks huge. It's always this big. It's because it's 1 unit per however many pixels or something. But don't mess with it in scale or anything like that. But basically it's the canvas to which all the other elements are going to be attached. And the way it works is that this canvas is the size of the camera. Alright, so like it's the same size as this. And so if for some reason my aspect ratio changes or things get squished and squashed, this will adapt to that. And then subsequently, the different things that are pinned to it will squeeze in or stretch or they'll move on this canvas. And that's why the canvas is nice, because it's flexible. One of the great things with Unity is the fact that it allows you to output to multiple different types of devices. So if you wanted to make a mobile game, Unity is perfect for it. Okay, so so I make my canvas. Then what I want to do is, while I have the canvas selected, let me just minimize some of these other elements here so I don't have so many. Okay, so once I have that canvas, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, we'll add text. Okay, and I'm going to look at the game thing here. And actually, let's go back to 2D mode. Alright, so there's my text right there. Now, what I can do is, if I hold Alt and Shift, you'll see these little buttons come out, and basically this is how it's going to set the pivot and how it's going to anchor and position it. So, basically, I want this to be on the bottom and in the center. Boom, there it goes, okay? Now, what I can do from there, once I have that set, I need to change my positions, okay? So this is based off of this. So this is the new 0 position. And if I want to move it up, I just click and I drag, and that'll bring it up. Okay, so that's how I do that. I'm just going to go ahead and go 50. The width and the height, that's basically, if you've ever done any web design, it's basically like the bounding box. So once this text gets more than what that can handle, you'll see it actually goes off, because that box is only so big. And so you might need to make this larger or taller depending on what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and take my width, and we'll do like, I'm going to say, we'll say 1200. That will give me plenty to work with. And then height, I'm just going to go 50 just for fun. Pivot's fine. You can see it's 0.5. The rest of it doesn't really matter. This is the text I'm going to put in there. Font style. So we have, I'm going to go ahead and go bold. And font size, I'm going to go 24 because I want it bigger. And then you can click on this and you can source. You have to find where your fonts are. But if you go to, and you can put it inside of your, inside of here. So if you want like a special font, you can go to like defont.org maybe? Yeah, defont.com. And basically they have all these different fonts that you can use, and you can download them, and then you need to put them into your folder and go from there. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this just to show you as an example. So I download it there. I'm going to go ahead and show in folder, and I am going to extract all, extract. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this, Control C, and I am going to open up my project folder, which is currently on the desktop, motion narrative, Unity, assets. Actually, I think it was looking in library, wasn't it? Well, I'm going to go into assets, and I'm going to just make a new folder here. Let's call this fonts. And open that up, and I will paste it in there. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to go back into here. You see it automatically pops up. And I am going to click on the little target, And then you can see, there it is. Boom. And then I'll use that, and now that's attached, and there it is there, which is actually kind of ugly. But you get the idea. So after that, I'm going to make sure it's centered. I want centered alignment, and okay, and I just need to change what my text is here. So say Jimmy was playing his favorite video game and realized that he wanted to make his own. Alright, I'm back. I had to give my kids some food again. Alright, so you can apply a material to it, you can apply a color. So I'm just going to click on this, and I just got to find something that's going to read better than that black. That is truly awful. God, this font is terrible. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Let's try 36. That's too big. Was that, what, 24, 32? Okay, that's not very good looking, but we'll have to go with it for now. You can force it to actually superficially start on a new line. I think it's Alt-Enter. No, Control-Enter. Let me see. I don't think it's just Enter. Oh, it is just Enter. Okay. So I just hit Enter, but you can see how it's not large enough. That's because my size up here, the height is only 50. If I do 100, then there's enough. Okay. So if I want it to be longer, there's one. All right. So that's one text element, and I'll put like, I'm just gonna go up here. I'm just gonna call it panel 01 underscore txt. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. This is like the on-off button. This is set active, actually, is what it stands for. I'm going to turn that off. And I am going to write what the next piece of text is. Okay, so I'm still going to select my canvas. And I'm going to go game object UI. And we'll do text again. And I'm going to say, so Jimmy went on his computer to do some research. Alright, and I'm going to click on the same thing here, and what I do, 32, and we want to center it. I'm going to click on this and hold Alt and Shift, make sure it's to the bottom. I went 50 from the bottom here, I went 1200 on this. I got to make basically everything the same here. Might just duplicate it for the next ones. 50. I think I ended up doing 100, didn't I? 100, and then I'm just going to change the color to white again. All right, and we're gonna call that good. All right, so Jimmy went to blah blah blah, and I'm just gonna change the name of this one to panel 02 underscore txt, and I'm gonna pause this and just do the rest of them, and then I'm gonna turn this one off. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. Control D. Change this one to 3. Alrighty, 3. And then I'm going to turn it active too. But I'm going to pause it. And I'll just change this in here. And then I'll turn it back on when I'm done. Now the other element I have. Now there's a bunch of different UI elements in here. And we can use all of these ones any way we like. But for this, for right now, we're just going to do the button. So I'm just going to grab the button thing here, and we will go from there. So it makes this button, and it's just like all the other ones. I'm going to click on this, hold Alt and Shift, and I'm going to choose to bind this to the right here, because you know it's going to go to the right, like we're going to move screen right. So good. Now the button's actually, it's multiple things. So there's the button, that's the actual like thing, does all the scripting, and then there's the text that's inside of this button. Okay, so good. So we did that, and let's do, I don't know, 100. I don't really need it that big. By 100, we'll say. Good, and then I want to position it off of X a little bit, and we'll say minus 50. All right, and all right. Now, the button is using a built-in source of an image. So I can click on this, and I can use any image that I have, okay? Now, maybe I'll do knob. I like knob better. There we go. I can use any image that I currently have in order to make this work. Although actually I'm going to go back to the UI sprite. All right. Okay, so now I could use my own. If you can do your own, that'd be better because it would look nicer. But I'm just going to use the one that's built in here. We'll come back to this in a little bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and change this text in here. So I'm just going to write next, and I'm just going to switch it back to my font, and we'll make this bigger, 32, good, and we'll leave it black because it's white on black. That looks good. Okay, good. And that's in there, and that's all great. And we're just going to call this the panel 01 underscore BT, BTN. Okay, so that way I know what it is. Good. So now I have my button, and I have my text down here, and we are good to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to duplicate this button to make the other ones, and put a different script on each one. Because that'll just make it easier. Because basically what we need to do is that when we click on these buttons, we need the animations to run, so that when I click on this, it's going to play the animation of the camera moving, and then it's going to initiate the other animations as well. Okay. So let's just go ahead and duplicate these. Control D, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this one 2. Control D. All right. Control D. And make this one button 3, enter, and Control D, and we will make this one button 4. Alright, 4, actually, I don't need a 4th one, because we'll already be at the end of there. Oh, actually, you know what, though, I will actually, because we'll make it a quit. We'll make it a quit button, so I'll do 4, okay, and then, I'm just going to change the text in this one to quit. Alright, good. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I am just going to take all of these and turn them off. I keep this one on, and we can actually keep this one on, because those are the first two that need to go together. Alright, that looks good. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this, Control S, and then I'm going to start making the next video.